See, we know that F is equal to C Q1 Q2 divided by R square, right? We will focus on these two charges, Q1 and Q2. Now we know that if they are of same nature, let us say this is positive, this is also positive. Amount, it can be any amount. I am just talking about the nature. So if both of them are positive, then what do you think? The force will come here positive or negative?
So positive.
Definitely the force will come positive, right? Because both of them are positive. Positive is a positive, I will get a positive value. So what is the force between them? Attractive or repulsive?
Repulsive. Repulsive.
The force between them is repulsive because they are of same nature. Now let us consider they are of same nature, but both of them are negative. Minus minus. So when I will multiply them, minus minus will become
Plus.
plus. So still the force is going to be positive, and we know that the force is going to be repulsive. So both the cases, when I am getting the force positive, the force is repulsive one. Now let us consider opposite charge. One is plus, one is minus. Okay. Now when you multiply plus minus, what are you going to get here?
Minus.
Minus. So negative. The force has become negative. What do you think will be the type of force between them? Or
Attractive.
attractive.
Sir, both.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now you may do the vice versa. You may take this one positive, this one negative. Still, you are going to get plus minus. The force is negative. So whenever the force is negative, we will understand that they are of opposite nature, and as they are of opposite nature, we can say the force between them will be an attractive one. And if the force is positive, then we know for sure that both the charges are of same nature. That means either they are positive positive or either they are negative negative. As a result, the resultant force, it will be coming as positive. So if it is positive, we know they are of same nature, and same nature charge, they repel each other. So it will be repulsive. Clear?
Sir, Butsi.
Achha.
Sir.
हाँ बोलो.
I read that out 69 page number.
69. Okay.
Sir.
Sir,
dielectric medium কি? ভালো মতো বুঝিনি এটা.
Dielectric medium নাকি dielectric constant?
Dielectric medium বুঝিনি, এর পরে কিছু লেখছে এখানে রেশিও নাকি F/Fm. এটা কনস্ট্যান্ট তো বুঝি যে ডাইইলেকট্রিক্যাল মিডিয়ামের মধ্যে যে একটা কনস্ট্যান্ট থাকবে ওটা হচ্ছে ডাইইলেকট্রিক কনস্ট্যান্ট হবে। বাট ডাইইলেকট্রিক মিডিয়াম কি?
ডাইইলেকট্রিক মিডিয়ামটা কি আসলে এটাই আমারও একটু সমস্যা আছে। ডাইইলেকট্রিক এই জিনিসটা আমরা ম্যাগনেটের ক্ষেত্রে পড়ছিলাম, তো এখানে আসলে জিনিসটা কি এটা একটু খুঁজে বের করতে হবে। আচ্ছা একটু পড়ে দেখি। তবে অনেস্টলি এটার ব্যাপারে আমার নিজেরও একটু ল্যাক অফ নলেজ আছে, এটা নিয়ে একটু পড়াশোনা করতে হবে। এখানে কি বলছে, if there is an insulating material between the charges then it is generally called dielectric medium। হ্যাঁ, এই ডাইইলেকট্রিক মিডিয়ামটা আসলে আমি এর আগেও পড়ছি ইয়াতে, ওই যে তোমাদেরকে যখন ক্যাপাসিটর পড়াচ্ছিলাম না, মনে আছে ক্যাপাসিটর আমরা দুইটা মেটাল প্লেট রাখি, দুইটা মেটাল প্লেট মধ্যে আমরা পজিটিভ আর নেগেটিভ চার্জেস কি করি, জমা করি, তখনই তো ক্যাপাসিটর প্রডিউস হয়। এখন যদি সামহাউ এই দুইটা মেটাল প্লেট একটা আরেকটার কন্টাক্টে চলে আসে, তাইলে কি হবে, এরা নিজেদের মধ্যে আবার চার্জগুলো দেয়া নেয়া করে দুজন নিউট্রাল হয়ে যাবে, এটা আর চার্জ থাকবে না, মানে ক্যাপাসিটরটা থাকবে না। এখন আমরা চাই যে এরা যদি কিছুতে একজন আরেকজনের কন্টাক্টে না আসে, সেই জন্য আমরা এই দুইটা প্লেটের মাঝখানে কিছু ডাইইলেকট্রিক ম্যাটেরিয়াল ইউজ করতাম, যেটা কিনা ইনসুলেটর হিসেবে কাজ করে। ঠিক আছে, এখন এতটুকু জানি যে ডাইইলেকট্রিক মিডিয়ামটা হচ্ছে মানে একটা ইনসুলেটর, যেটা কিনা কোনো ইলেকট্রন ট্রান্সফার অ্যালাউ করে না। আমরা জানি যে কি তিন ধরনের সাবস্টেন্স আছে, একটা হচ্ছে কন্ডাক্টর, একটা সেমিকন্ডাক্টর আর একটা ইনসুলেটর। এখন ডাইইলেকট্রিক মিডিয়াম হচ্ছে এমন একটা মিডিয়াম যেটা কিনা ইনসুলেটর। ঠিক আছে, এতটুকু জানি। আর তবে আমার মনে হয় এর ব্যাপারে আরো বিস্তারিত জানার আছে, তো ইনশাআল্লাহ আমরা এটা একটু ইয়া করবো। তোমাদেরকে আসলে আমি বারবার একটা কথা বলি যে যখনই এরকম কোনো প্রবলেম আমি ক্লাসের মধ্যে সলভ করতে পারবো না, এরকম এটা হইতেই পারে, আমি তো সবকিছু জানবো, এরকম হবে না। তো সেগুলো তোমরা একটু একটা পেজের মধ্যে লিখে আমাকে যদি একটু সেন্ড করো, তাইলে আসলে মানে আমি পরে ওগুলা নিয়ে প্রিন্সিপালের সাথে যখন দেখা হয় একটু ডিসকাস করতে পারি, অথবা নিজেও একটু অনলাইনে সার্চ করতে পারি, বিকজ আমার কাছে সবসময় তো মনে থাকে না, অন্য ক্লাস থেকেও হয়তো অনেক ডাউট আছে। আমি এটা তোমাদেরকে বারবার কয়েকবার বলছি যে এই কাজটা একটু করার জন্য, তো প্লিজ একটু যদি তোমরা লিখে আমাকে দাও, তাইলে আমি পরে এগুলো নিয়ে চেক করতে পারি আর কি। তো একটু বলবা যে ডাইলেকট্রিক মিডিয়া, ঠিক আছে, এটা দিয়ে গ্রুপে দিয়ে দাও, সো দ্যাট যে কোনো একজন হয়তো মনে থাকে। তো এটার দায়িত্ব আসলে আমি আয়শাকে দিছিলাম মনে হয়, আয়শা কি আছে?
স্যার।
আয়শা নাই। তো তোমরা কেউ একজন যারা রেগুলার ক্লাস করো, জামান ইরফান, তোমরা দুজনের একজন এই কাজটা একটু করতে পারো। আচ্ছা যাই হোক, এখন দেখি আসো ইয়ে করি, দাঁড়ো, ডাইইলেকট্রিক মিডিয়াম এটার নিচে কি লিখছে, the attractive or repulsive force between two particular charges at a particular distance in a dielectric medium is less than that in vacuum। আচ্ছা, ডাইইলেকট্রিক মিডিয়াম দিলে এই অ্যাট্রাকটিভ আর রিপালসিভ ফোর্সটা কমে আসবে, রাইট। যদি মাঝখানে একটা বাধা সৃষ্টি করো, ডেফিনেটলি ফোর্সটা লেস হয়ে যাবে। It is seen that the ratio of the force between two charges at a particular distance in vacuum and the force between the same charges at a distance in a medium is a constant for that medium। আচ্ছা, ratio তো constant থাকবে if it change the medium. This constant is called the dielectric constant of the medium। এটা বোঝা যায় K is equal to F by F। আচ্ছা, তোমাদের কি ইউনিট অফ চার্জ এখানে কোনো সমস্যা আছে? ইউনিট অফ চার্জ কুলম্ব, এটা আসলে আমরা গ্রেড 10 থেকেই জানি, তাই না? এবং আমরা একটা ইকুয়েশনও পড়ছিলাম যে ইলেকট্রিক কারেন্টের একটা ইকুয়েশন পড়ছিলাম, তোমাদের মনে আছে কিনা জানি না, যে I electric current I is equal to Q by D। That means the rate of flow of charge, the rate of flow of charge, this is not X, is Q, okay? আচ্ছা, তো এখান থেকে আমরা যদি Q is equal to কিছু বের করতে যাই, so Q is equal to IT। So I is the amount of current flow. Let us say if 1 ampere current is flowing, then the time, let us say for 1 second it is flowing. So what will happen? Q will be equal to 1 coulomb. Okay, 1 into 1, I will get 1 coulomb. So from here actually I can give the definition of 1 coulomb. If 1 ampere current is flowing for 1 second, okay, or we can say 1 ampere current is flowing per second. Per second means 1 second through a conductor, then we can say the amount of charge that is flowing is 1 coulomb। Okay, so from here if you understand the expression, you can easily give the definition from here। I want to actually prepare you in such a way, 2.2
বেশি ঠান্ডা করবি না।
আচ্ছা, 2.2 equation, F is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by D square। আচ্ছা, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught। তো এখানে কি সমস্যা তাহলে আমি তো এটা বুঝলাম না। ও, এটা হচ্ছে C এর ভ্যালু। আমরা জানি যে কুলম্বস কনস্ট্যান্ট একটা আছে, তাই না? C যেটা আমরা ইউজ করি ওই যে প্রপোর্শনাল সাইন। হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, ওইটাই তো, ওইটাই ইকুয়াল টু হচ্ছে 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught। এখানে আবার epsilon naught হচ্ছে the value of epsilon naught is 8.854 into 10 to the power minus 12। আচ্ছা, এখানের ইকুয়েশনগুলো আসলে পড়লে বোঝা যায়। তো ভেক্টর ফর্ম অফ কুলম্বস ল, এটাও তো আশা করি বুঝছো, বিকজ এখান থেকে আমাকে একটু আগে কোশ্চেন জিজ্ঞেস করছো তোমরা। তো ভেক্টর ফর্ম যখন বলবে তখন মাস্ট রিমেম্বার দ্যাট উই উইল নট অনলি টক অ্যাবাউট দ্য ম্যাগনিটিউড, উই উইল কনসিডার দ্য ডাইরেকশন। আচ্ছা, প্রিন্সিপাল অফ সুপারপজিশন অফ ইলেকট্রিক ফোর্স, লেট আস সি। Now, till now actually we were considering that a single force is acting on a particular charge. What if multiple forces are acting? Then what will happen? The equation 2.6 gives the force between the 2 point charges. 2.6, where is the yes, F equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught K into Q1 Q2 by D square. This is the equation through which we can calculate the force between 2 point charges. Now here it is assumed that there is no charge in the neighborhood. That means there are no other charge present within this electric field. Okay. or there is no actually what can we say, that there is no effect of another electric field. Okay, but what if there is? But if there are a number of charges in a region of space, then the resultant force on a particular charge can be calculated applying principle of superposition. Now this one it will be easier for us to understand if I show you through a diagram. I will show you. Okay, let us say this is a charge. This is another charge. Okay, the electric field of this is this. Now, as this charge is within the electric field of this charge, it will apply a force on it. Let us say another charge is here, and the electric field of this is like this. So, as this is in the electric field of this charge, then it will apply a certain amount of force on this one. Another charge, if I say it is here, and the electric field of this is like this, then what will happen? You can see that this charge will be affected by three electric fields, three neighboring electric field, right? And three forces will be acting on it. And these three forces or more than three forces can be there if there are more electric field, which is shown by figure 2.2. Kindly take a look. You will see that at the center there is one charge and on it several forces are acting. Now some forces will be attractive and some forces will be repulsive. It depends on the nature of the charges, okay? If it is positive, then repulsive force, attraction force, and the repulsive force. So using the direction of the forces is being determined by the nature of charges. So let us see. They are saying if there are number of charges in a region of space, then the resultant force on a particular charge can be calculated applying principle of superposition. Yes, we want to know what is the resultant force that is acting. I hope you know what is the resultant force, right? Acha. The principle of superposition states that when a number of charges are interacting, the total force on a given charge is the vector sum of the individual forces exerted by all other charges on the given charge. Vector sum. Now, what do we understand by vector sum? Algebraic sum is something in which we do not consider the direction. Direction is not something we are interested in. We only care about the magnitude. But whenever we are talking about vector sum, definitely we have to consider the direction also, right? Because whenever I will ask you that what is the resultant force that is acting on this body. If you give me only a particular value, not enough. Okay, you have to give me direction. Okay, in which direction means ultimately in which direction the charge is going to move. Okay, so that will depend on the direction of the resultant force, right? Acha. So when a number of charges are interacting, the total force on a given charge is the vector sum of the individual forces. Yes, we will see. That is actually represented by the equation 2.8. See, force, the resultant force is equal to page number 71, and the resultant force is equal to vector sum of the forces. Now, as we are talking about vector sum, we must put arrow sign over the F. Okay, F1, F2, F3, F4, and it will continue. How many forces are there? We do not know. Okay. So now let us calculate the net force on a charge plus Q due to the neighboring charges plus Q1 plus Q minus Q2 plus Q3 minus Q4. They have here considered only 4 charges. So we will first individually calculate the forces on plus Q due to these other charges. Okay. So we can calculate that what is the force that will be exerted on this one by this, what is the force exerted on this one by that, and what is the force exerted by this one on that. So we will get F1, F2, F3, right? And then we will take the vector sum of them. The force between two charges may be of attractive or repulsive nature, but the value of the force acting between two charges be a positive quantity, then the force will be repulsive. We already know this. Why? If the force is positive, then we will consider it repulsive. We already know. And if the value of force is negative, then the force will be of attractive nature. What they are trying to say here is, finally we will get a resultant, right? If we are writing that F is equal to F1 plus F2, F3, okay? So ultimately here the result, either we are going to get positive or we are going to get negative. If we get positive, then we can say that a repulsive force is acting, and if it is negative, then we can say a attractive resultant force is acting. Now electric field. Electric field is something actually you know. Do I need to discuss it? Electric field, electric intensity, these are the topics that I told you to go through, I guess, because electric intensity E is equal to F by Q. You know it, right? The force applied on a unit positive charge is the intensity of the electric field. So what we can do, we can actually start our discussion from the electric intensity due to a point charge. That is page number 73. From here we can start. Okay. So you can see there is a figure given 2.4. At point A, a plus Q charge is placed, and at point P, plus Q naught charge is placed, and the distance between them is R. Now an arrow mark has been shown from the point P towards B. Now why this is shown towards B? Why not in the opposite direction? Can anybody tell me? Why?
Because the charge is flowing through A to B.
Charges are not flowing through A to B. Actually, the line that is connecting A with B are not actually a conductor. It is just showing the direction, okay? They are not actually connected. So if they are not connected, then there is no question of charge flowing, okay? But still there is an arrow which is pointing towards B. Why it is pointing towards B? Why not towards A? Why not in other direction?
যেমন কি বলছিস আবার বল?
Repulsion.
বুঝি নাই জামান, তুমি কিছু বলতেছো?
Sir, repulsion.
Very good. Repulsion. Both of the charges are positive here. So the plus Q charge will repulse plus Q naught charge, right? And as a result, it will move towards B. Correct or not? Right? It will move towards B. It will not move towards A. If it was attractive force, opposite charge, then what would have happened? The arrow mark should be in the PA direction, not in PB direction. Very good, Jaman. Suppose a small charge plus Q naught is placed at point P. Now force acting on charge Q naught is F equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught K into Q naught divided by R square. Generally, we know that it is Q1, Q2, but here you can see that both the charges, one is Q, one is Q naught. So Q1, Q2 will be replaced by Q naught, and the distance between them is R, so it is R square. But the electric intensity is the force acting on unit charge. On unit charge. Unit charge means 1 coulomb charge. So definitely we will divide it by that charge. I think I have to write it on the book. So let me show you. Or actually we can get the explanation from here itself, okay? There is a plus Q charge here, and there is a plus Q naught charge here. Now this is applying some force on it towards this direction. Okay. Now what is the amount of force? The force will be something, right? But if I want to know what is the intensity, I have to divide the force by Q, because the force on unit charge is the intensity. So whatever the value of force I will get here, I will divide it by this Q. Oh, it is Q naught here. So it will be force divided by Q naught. This is actually what our equation is. Here they have written 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught K into Q naught divided by R square. So if you notice, if I divide F by Q naught, this Q naught will be cancelled, right? As a result, I will get 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught K into Q by R square. As I have divided by Q naught, F, Q naught they divide করলে Q naught Q1, they will cancel each other, and we will get this expression. Achha. So then E is equal to becomes 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught K into Q by R square. This is equation 2.13. Kindly tell me, do you have any doubt till 2.13 equation?
স্যার
Huh.
আমরা কিউ নোট কেন ডিভাইড করছি?
Because কোন চার্জের উপরে ফোর্স অ্যাপ্লাই হচ্ছে আমরা সেটা বের করতেছি।
ওকে স্যার।
ঠিক আছে, ফোর্সটা অ্যাপ্লাই হচ্ছে কিউ নট এর উপরে। তো ওখানে যদি 5 কুলম্ব থাকে, 5 কুলম্বের উপরে কতটুকু চার্জ সেটা আমরা দেখলাম। 5 কুলম্ব চার্জের উপরে কতটুকু ফোর্স অ্যাপ্লাই হয় এটা পাইলাম। দেন 5 কুলম্ব দিয়ে যদি আমরা এখন ডিভাইড করে দিই তাহলে 1 কুলম্বের উপরে কতটুকু চার্জ অ্যাপ্লাই হয়েছে সেটা আমরা বুঝতে পারবো। ইট ইজ লাইক, লেট মি গিভ ইউ অ্যান অ্যানালজি। তুমি 5টা শার্ট কিনছো 10 টাকা দিয়ে। এখন তোমাকে যদি আমি বলি একটা শার্টের দাম কত, তুমি কি করবা? তোমার যে টোটাল অ্যামাউন্ট ছিল সেটাকে 5 দিয়ে ডিভাইড করে দিবে না, বিকজ তুমি 5টা শার্ট কিনছো, তাইলে একটা শার্টের দাম আসবে। ঠিক একইভাবে এখানে 5 কুলম্বের উপরে ফোর্স আমি পাইলাম 10 নিউটন। আর আমি তোমাকে জিজ্ঞেস করলাম 1 কুলম্বের উপরে ইউনিট চার্জের উপরে কতটুকু ফোর্স অ্যাপ্লাই হবে, তুমি ডেফিনেটলি ফোর্সটাকে ডিভাইড করে দিবা চার্জ দিয়ে। ইট ইজ লাইক দ্যাট। ওকে, আচ্ছা, so moving on, if the charge class Q is in vacuum or in air, then K is taken as 1. Yes, if it is in vacuum, the value of K will be 1. In that case, the electric intensity would be, just from this equation, K will be vanished, nothing else. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square. Now, direction. E is a vector quantity. Intensity is a vector quantity. Its direction would be along the straight line joining A and P. See, the direction is along the line joining A and P, but either it will be in the right direction or it can be in the opposite direction. Okay, right or left direction, but it will be along that straight line. See, তুমি যদি AP এই straight line টাকে increase করো, then what will happen? You will get a unending straight line মানে কি, যেটা দুই সাইডে কোনো এন্ড নাই। সো এটার যে অ্যাট্রাকশন বা রিপালশন যেটাই হোক না কেন সেটা কাজ করবে এই স্ট্রেট লাইন বরাবর, হয় রাইটের দিকে অথবা লেফটের দিকে, ডিপেন্ডিং অন অ্যাট্রাকশন অর রিপালশন। আচ্ছা, নাও ভেক্টর ফর্ম অফ ইলেকট্রিক ইন্টেন্সিটি। This equation you can see it is just similar to the equation that we saw earlier, only a unit vector has been given. Now unit vector is something we studied in grade 11 vector chapter, right? Okay, if it is, we know if it is along x-axis, then the unit vector is I. Okay, so x-axis বরাবর যদি আমি 5 ইউনিট যাই তার মানে 5i, I have moved 5i, and along y-axis it is j, and along z-axis it is k. But now here I do not know along which axis it is, so that is why I will represent it by u. Okay, so আমি যদি বলি যে মানে ইলেকট্রিক ইন্টেন্সিটি is 5, তো তুমি বলবা 5u because 5 unit. Okay, আচ্ছা, now unit vector, what is unit vector? We know that unit vector can be attained if I divide any vector by its magnitude. এগুলা আমি আসলে গ্রেড 11 এখন পড়াচ্ছি, তো তোমাদের মাথায় কতটুকু আছে আমি জানি না। ইউনিট ভেক্টর কিভাবে পাবো? যদি একটা ভেক্টরকে ওটার ম্যাগনিটিউড দিয়ে আমরা ডিভাইড করি তাইলে ইউনিট ভেক্টর পাওয়া যায়। ঠিক আছে, যেমন 5 নিউটন, এটা সে নিউটন তো ফোর্স, তো ফোর্স হচ্ছে একটা ভেক্টর কোয়ান্টিটি। তো 5 নিউটন ফোর্স, এটাকে যদি আমরা 5 দিয়ে ডিভাইড করি এটার ম্যাগনিটিউড, তাইলে আমি পাবো 1 নিউটন ইউনিট। ওকে, নাও প্রিন্সিপাল অফ সুপারপজিশন অফ ইলেকট্রিক ইন্টেন্সিটি. Just take a look at equation 2.16. I don't think I need to explain it because this is the vector sum of all the electric intensities that are present over this. Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay. Then we have the charge density or surface charge density. Let us talk about that, and we will try to develop an expression for that so that we can use it in numerical examples. We know that when a conductor is charged, the charges stay at the surface. We talked about this earlier. Okay, if we have a conductor, the free charges stay at the surface. It is just like they want to escape. Okay, they are looking for chances to escape. And sometimes actually they are attracted by the opposite charges of other material, and as a result they are accumulated at the surface. So, but it is not such that everywhere the conductor charges will be the same. Yes, not everywhere it is the same. The quantity of charge at a certain part of the surface depends on the shape of the conductor. Yes, presence of other conductors or insulators. By charge density, we get an idea about the charges of the different parts of the surface of the conductor. Okay, let me explain it with a figure. Let us say this ball is positively charged. So what is supposed to happen? At the surface, the charges should be staying like this, right? But this is not the case. What happens? Let us say I have another object here which has some negative charge. What will happen? This all positive charges will be accumulating in this area now. So as a result, you can see the density of the charges are not same everywhere all over the body, right? So it has got affected by the presence of another charge body around it. So this is the case. This is what they are saying, that due to the presence of another charge body, the surface density will be affected. Now definition. The charge density at a point at a surface of the conductor is defined as the amount of charge that exists around that point per unit area. Density is something we know that per volume, right? But here we are talking about per area. If you remember, density is mass per unit volume. And here we are talking about charge density. So that will be amount of charge per unit area. Okay? Easy to understand, I think. And it is expressed by sigma. I hope all of you are familiar with the symbol. Okay, sigma. This is sigma. So sigma is the amount of charge on unit area. So that will be Q divided by A. Now from here we can tell the unit of sigma. Okay, you see the unit of charge is coulomb and the unit of area, so calculating in meters, so it will be meter square. So definitely the unit of charge density is coulomb per meter square. Okay. Achha. So the charge density of certain surface is 5 coulomb per meter square, means there are 5 coulomb charges per square meter of the surface, right? If the object is a 1 meter square, then 5 coulomb charges will be there. If 2 meter square is the area, then total 10 coulomb charges will be there. Every 1 meter square, 5 coulomb, 5 coulomb, 5 coulomb, like that. Achha. Now, relation between charge density and electric intensity. We already saw what electric intensity is. We already got to know what charge density is. Is there any relation between them? It appears there is, okay? So we will try to see. Suppose there is a sphere in the medium whose dielectric constant is K. Achha. Sphere in a medium. We are considering a circular object. Circular object means a spherical object, right? A sphere, like football. If plus Q charge is distributed uniformly over the surface of an isolated spherical conductor, then this charge may be considered as a point charge situated at the center of the spherical conductor. And if R is the radius of the spherical conductor, then electric intensity at the surface would be equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught K Q by R square. They are considering that even though the charge is distributed at the surface, okay, but for our convenience, we can consider this whole body. If I want to show that this body is positive charge, I can just write a positive at the center. So this will show that, okay, this is a body which is positively charged. Means the same thing. Achha. Now the intensity, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught K into R square. Now if I ask you what is the intensity on the surface of this body? Now, if I consider the charge to be at the middle, what is the distance from the center? It is equal to the radius, right? So here the intensity is going to be is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught K divided by Q divided by R square. Why R? Because the distance between them is R. Achha. Now the charge per unit area of a charge conductor is called its charge density. We already developed that expression, that is sigma is equal to Q by A. Now as it is a circle, circular object, right? So what is the area of a circle? Circular object or a spherical object. What is the area?
Pi r square.
Pi r square is the area of a circle, but here we are talking about the area of a circular object. See, if you are talking about only a circle, this surface is enough. If we are talking about this surface, but whenever we are talking about a ball, see, it has got more surface, right? More surface area. So as a result, it will be actually 4 pi r square. Okay, এটা তোমরা আসলে মেন সলিউশনে পড়ে আসার কথা। So Q divided by 4 pi r square. From equation 2.17 and 2.12 we get, actually we will replace the value. If we just replace the value, then what we will get? We can do the একটু খেয়াল করলে দেখো Q 4 pi r square, তাহলে Q divided by 4 pi r square, এই সবগুলা এই যে Q divided by 4 pi r square এটার বদলে আমি সিগমা বসাতে পারি, তাই না? So if I replace sigma here, it is sigma then divided by only epsilon naught is there, and if k is there, then k. Okay, so this is the relation actually between the electric intensity and the charge density. Did you understand, or I will show it in more details? How I wrote this expression here, did you understand? If anybody have any doubt, you may raise your hand. I can show the process in details. All I need to do is just cross multiply this one and put the value of Q here, then they will cancel each other and we will get this expression back. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Acha. We have 1 minute 8 seconds. So I hope this is clear. We will start from the next topic in the next video, okay? So let us end our video here and then we will talk about the next topic in the next video. Kindly join again.